I welcome you all on behalf of Varthanas for this webinar series. So this is the fourth webinar of this quarter under the theme of increasing enrollment and improving parent and community engagement. So today's webinar topic is Smart Enroll. It's simple strategy to bring more kids to kindergarten. So we'll specifically look at how to increase enrollment in kindergarten session. Also, we'll be issuing participation certificate for all the attendees who are attending today's session. So please stay throughout the session to understand what is the procedure to get the participation certificate. Let's quickly move on to today's session. Let's look at the agenda for the day. We'll start the session with introduction and session objectives. Then we'll look at parents' enrollment priorities. Then we'll look at strategies, and we'll also look at marketing campaign plan. Then we'll also see Vartana programs, and then we'll close the session with the feedback. So for introduction, I'm going to quickly launch a poll to understand a participant profile. So I'm launching a poll. So you have an option like school leader, coordinator, teachers, third-party solution, and others. Please select the relevant option to understand. This helps me understand my participant profile for today's session. I'm going to publish the result. So as you can see, most of the participants for today's session, we have school leaders and teachers. I think that's a great thing to have on board. So I welcome you all once again. Let's quickly move on to our session. So the objective for today's session is three things. First thing is that to understand your parent persona, basically to understand the type of parent you are having and what is their expectation they have for the school. And second one, to explore different strategies to increase the enrollment and also to design an effective marketing campaign plan. The first thing, right? The first thing before starting a session, before understanding how to increase enrollment, it is very important to understand what type of parents or what are the parent persona we have, right? So for that, I would request everyone to just imagine yourself as a parent of a 3-year kid. Okay, you might be school leader, you might be teacher, but remove all those things. Consider yourself as a 3-year-old. When you want to join your kid in a pre-primary school, what do you look for in a school, right? So take a moment of a time, like to just reflect what you want in a school for your child to get enrolled. So I would encourage everyone to reflect or imagine. Now I would encourage everyone to put down your thoughts in the chat box. Like, what is your priority? You have a 3-year-old kid who's ready to join pre-KG or LKG class. So what all facilities or what are things you think the school should have to enroll my child? Put it in the chat box. Put it in the Q&A box. I'll also share my inputs. All things you think it's a must for my child. Now you are a parent, right? So you think in that perspective. It can be anything, like it can be world-class curriculum. Wonderful, right? We want the best curriculum for our child. That's the very first thing a parent should consider. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I think Meham have said environment, very important, whether it's safe, how about teacher, what curriculum. Somebody said safety and security is very, very important for a child to be confident inside the classroom. Getting adjusted without parents, obviously, right? So the environment should be so friendly. Safe playing area, games, good infrastructure, best education, overall exposure, child environment should be happy. Wonderful, wonderful. There are so many thoughts, so many inputs. Thank you for sharing. Thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts. I'll also share what I have put down. Like somebody has mentioned, like many of you mentioned, the parent will look for the best curriculum or the curriculum pedagogy, whether it's state board, CBSE, ISSE, whatever. What is the curriculum you're following? What is the teaching strategy you're following? Second thing, they look for brand, right? They have this pride of saying that my child is studying in this school. So some parents want that brand status. So there is a combination. So whereas like somebody already mentioned, there are few parents who exactly looks for safety and security. They feel that my child should be safe and my child should feel secure in this environment to learn properly. Whereas like most of you mentioned, most of the parents give importance to extracurricular activities. Do they have a good play area? They have enough infrastructure to accommodate different sports? How much of importance the school is giving for extracurricular activities? Then There are some set of parents who look for school fees. Is the school fees affordable to for me? Is can I pay fees like properly on regular time if I join my kid in this particular school, or do I get any kind of discounts? And there is other set of parents who prefer to join their kid in a school where they can continue their education till 12th standard without any change in the school, because some of the parents consider it's very tough to do all the research for joining the child in between first grade or fifth grade or 10th grade or 11th grade. It's a lot of work for some of the parents, so they prefer to join the children in a school where they can continue the education till 12th standard. So these are the some of the expectation generally the parents have. So we can say combination of these a parent will look, right? So once you know what your parents would look, then you know what is the strategy you can bring into your school so that your school can get the maximum enrollment. Now many of you are reflected really well. Yes, there are few others said like good leader, good infrastructure. Uh, Sir, Divya ma'am, we don't have chat option. We have Q&A box. Please put your thoughts in Q&A box. So moving ahead, now we know there is a set of parents, or there are parents who expect different things from a school. Now let's understand the next thing from all of you here, because you have quite a good experience with respect to school. Now, coming back to your own position, you being a school leader, you being a principal, you being a teacher, from your experience, what are some of the reason for low enrollment in kindergarten? Right? What do you think? Some of the reasons why you are not just your school, but in general consider, or you can take your own learning as well. Why there is low enrollment in kindergarten? So, if you want, you can take a moment to reflect, or you can straight away put it in the chat box. Why do we see like there's a less enrollment? It's very easy to get children in like fifth standard or 10th standard or even first standard, but it's sometimes we expect a good enrollment to be in the kindergarten, but it doesn't happen most of the times. Why do you think? What are the reasons? Marketing, yes, marketing being one of the reason. Like your marketing, I mean the school marketing strategy may not reach the audience really well. Thank you, sir. Thank you for putting that. What are the other reasons? Concerned about safety. Yes, there are a lot of parents, I think mostly post COVID, and now we have a lot of exposure to technology, so we know a lot of things happening around. So they're concerned about the safety, of course. Lack of playground. Yes, parents expect the school should have a playground. Trained teachers, like handling kindergarten is the most difficult job. So your teacher should be very, very well trained to nurture these young minds. Of course, infrastructure, fees, safety, competition. We have a lot of competition from preschool, play school. Yes, and so good product presentation, all of these things. Thank you everyone for putting your thoughts in this. I'll share my thoughts here. So some of the reason it can be like somebody mentioned already, ineffective marketing campaigns. You must be doing wonderful thing in your school, but all those things have not reached your audience really well because your marketing strategy is not structured in that way. The second reason being parents' awareness on early childhood education. Like, do our parents really know why it is important that they should have a good early education? How much impact that will have in child's learning outcome in the future years? Whatever they're learning in kindergarten, that will have a like strong impact in grade 1 up to grade 12 and future also. Do our parents really know that? That's a question mark to ask. And second, third one, somebody already mentioned insufficient facility and resources, be it its infrastructure or be it your teachers, right? Do we have like trained or experienced teacher who can facilitate the learning really well? Or do we have enough infrastructure facility to facilitate those learnings? And then lack of community engagement. Do we really get or take leverage of a community? Do a community really knows what I'm doing or what my school is doing? And then, as someone mentioned, heavy competition. When there's heavy competition, do I really have a proper research about my competition or the market? And final reason being tedious admission process. Like if you think from a parent side, they want the admission to be very simple because they don't want to get into tedious process. Some of the schools sometimes they think they're having a very structured procedure, but that might for parents that might feel very tedious. So these are some of the reason for very low enrollment in schools. Now we have understood what is the expectation of parents, and other hand we also try to understand what are some of the reason for low enrollment. Now let's match these two and come to a solution how to increase the enrollment, what strategy a school can implement. So here we are going to discuss strategy to increase enrollment. We have 6 strategies. First one is school readiness campaign. We'll focus on each and every strategy with all examples. Second is workshop for parents. Third one is parent awareness campaign. Fourth is school tour. Fifth is incentives and benefits. And sixth one is collaboration or partnership. So let's look at one by one strategy in detail to understand how to implement it. So what is actually school readiness campaign? Basically, it's where that you are trying to understand or you're trying to give exposure to the parents whether their kids have the necessary skills and knowledge to join the school or to join the formal education. Somebody has already mentioned, right? Are kids ready to stay in school without parents? So these are the some of the expectation we have when kids join in the school, whether the kids are ready actually. That's what we are going to test in this school readiness campaign. So who is your target audience here? This particular school readiness campaign we are targeting for children of age 3 to 5, basically your kindergarten kids. And when is the right time to implement this strategy? I would say that it should be 3 months before. So I've considered the scenario in my particular place. So here the admission starts from April, considering there 3 months before to that. So I've considered Jan or Feb would be the right time to start this campaign. If your school admission starts in May, you can consider 3 months before that. And how do you actually do that? You conduct school readiness mela, you conduct skill testing. Now I've talked a lot of different terms, right? School readiness mela, skill test. You might be wondering what is this actually? I'll show a quick example of school readiness mela. What do we mean by school readiness mela? So you're organizing a big event and you're inviting children from your community. Majorly focus on the Anganwadi because there are lots of kids still enrolled in Anganwadi, and other kids, invite other kids. They might be yet to go to school or they're already in some other school. So invite every children between the age of 3 to 5 for this event along with their parents. So that's the first step. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to ask the kids to do certain activities. So you have to plan your event in such a way. So you have a separate place to test their gross motor skill, basically their balancing skill, fine motor skill, whether they're able to hold or whether they're able to color, whether they have certain grip, whether they have some balance. And then you're going to test cognitive skills, whether they're able to solve the puzzle, identify numbers. It can be any simple cognitive skill as well. And then creative skill, whether they're able to color or whether they're able to draw. So divide your entire event focusing on these skills so that parents know or parents get attracted to it, how my child is going to perform, how well she is performing. So that's the curiosity you're going to build among the parents. And third one, once the child finish their activities in all these skills, share child's performance with the parents. Tell them, they might be observing but they really don't know how to get the final conclusion. Tell them, see, this is how your child is performing. He's doing good in this area, whereas he needs certain focus on this particular area. And you can give small tips, like ask him to engage them in your kitchen to identify big, small. So give some small tips for the parents to follow. And finally, tell or highlight how your school is providing certain activities or providing an environment where kids can improve these skills. This is how you're developing the curiosity among the parents, how my child is performing in these skills and how this particular school is ensuring that these skills are developed in my child. So this is how you will gain the trust through this activity. I'll show you pictures also here. Here are in the left hand side, you can see there is parent and children. Like children is trying to identify fruits because these are like quite common, right? Children already got exposure. So they are trying to identify fruits and colors, whereas in the right hand side, along with the parent, the child is trying to identify the letter. So this is a good way to engage a parent to tell them, see, this is how your child is doing. He or she has so much of capabilities, and we have a school which can nurture them to more ahead. So this is what school readiness mela is. That's the first strategy. Second strategy is workshop for parents. What do you mean by workshop? So you are going to organize or host an information session uh, with respect to parents' needs, right? Because nowadays parents have a lot of exposure. They get this digital, they have this smartphone, right? They know certain things, they get exposed to new things. So their need is also different. So if you are able to organize certain information workshop session, that will be highly beneficial for them. So here your target is parents of children 3 to 5, specifically focusing for those parents only. And when is the right time to do? Just before, a month before your admission, be it March or during the admission time, be it April, so that they are staying connected with your school. And finally, how are you going to do it? You can conduct workshop on certain important topics like child psychology or parenting tips, because these parents don't know how to engage the toddler, like 3 to 5 years of age, how to engage them effectively. You can organize a session on that, or you can give an exposure about what kindergarten curriculum your school is having and what is the admission process of your school. So all these things will help the parents to relate more to a school, getting benefit as well. So I'll show you a few examples. So here one school is organizing a workshop on child psychology and behavior. You can see there are a lot of parents, like basically the moms are sitting here, so that they get the trust and they develop a rapport between the school. Whereas in the second, here the school is organizing a workshop specifically for mothers on a topic called grooming 21st century child, because mom is the one who spends a lot of time with the child, right? She needs these kind of workshops so that she can go and talk for your school to their family and get the children enrolled in your school. Third strategy, parents awareness campaign. So what do we mean by parents awareness campaign? This is like particularly targeted marketing campaign for early childhood education. So instead of simply telling what my school is doing, come join the children in your school, take a step back and tell the broader view why it is important to have a good early childhood education, right? That's what this entire parent awareness campaign is. So who will be a target? Entire community members. So you are also giving this kind of information and awareness for entire community members, and also showing that your school is doing something more. And when is the right time? Again, I would say a month before admission, so that the community members know what you're actually doing and they can take decision about enrolling the children in your school. And how can you do it? There are different ways to do it. Some of the example is through social media. Now everyone is like saying so much updated, right? So you can share it in your Facebook page or Instagram page, or you can have a WhatsApp group as well. You can publish certain important points on like early childhood education on local newspaper, or if there is any community bulletin board, right, where the entire community gathers, where they go and see, read something, or if they have any library over there, you can put your like the important points, or you can do a campaign on auto rickshaw. This is quite getting famous these days, where uh, the importance of ECE, you can tell it and you can tell how your school is catering to that. I'll quickly show an example for this. So how do you do it, right? You have to prepare an important points on early childhood education. I would say some examples like, say there is a data which shows that 90% of the child brain develops by age of 5. So it means there is a lot of impact the environment can make in child's brain development. The child didn't get proper environment, this will have a lot of impact in the developmental delay. So, and thereby it also has a lot of impact on language and cognitive skills. So there's so much of data available in the internet regarding the importance of early childhood education. Get all those important points, like how, like say for example, a child studying in 3 and 5 as an impact when he or she goes on grade 1 and 2. Get all the data, put it in a flyer, put it like have a like poster or something and distribute it in the parents committee to any of the method which I've told earlier. And then what you can do is that you can organize a small session. You can either invite guest speakers or you can invite your own teachers or somebody who you think can facilitate this session, talking only about why it is important, like to give attention to early education for your parents in your community. So, and then in the same session, you can highlight how your school is trying to achieve these objectives. So here, what you're doing, you're not doing direct marketing. First, you are trying to tell this community why it is important, like playing an important role here, and then slowly telling how your school is doing to make sure you are achieving all these objectives. So this is the third strategy. I'll show some examples here. In newspaper, you can tell, like you can publish an article in a newspaper, local newspaper, about how child learnings and behavior have some, like how child's learning and behavior has an effect, right, from parents' action. Or you can put it in the bulletin board in the right hand side. I give an image here, talking about why gross motor skill is important and what are the ways a child can do to develop it. So these are some of the ideas. Moving forward, the fourth strategy is school tours. Basically, you're allowing the parents to come to your school to understand what is your school offering so that they can take decision on their child's enrollment in your school, right? So who is your target? Parents of children aged 3 to 5. And again, when is the right time? Just before a month or admission or during the time of admission, so that the parents finally can take decision on enrolling the children. And how do you do it? There are lot of methods. I'll show some example. Like you can organize a day called Spend a Day in My School. You can invite parents and they can spend a day in your school where the children can go to their class. I mean, like any of the class which they wish in the kindergarten, and they can sit and see what the children or what the teacher is doing. The parent in the meanwhile can get exposure to the infrastructure offered, all these things, right? I'll also give an example, detailed example here. For example, you're going to plan a school tour. You're inviting your entire community, I mean, parents of, which has the children of 3 to 5 age to participate in the school tour. So you have 3 to 4 activities planned. As I mentioned earlier, it can be like skill-based activity or general, some fun activities. And then you can ask the parents to go and observe pre-primary class where the classes are happening currently. So the parents will know how the school curriculum looks like, how the teachers are behaving, whether the teachers are friendly to the children, so that they get that safe and secure feeling towards your school. Okay, this school is safe because the teachers are behaving very friendly. This school has a safe environment. So my child will have a better learning opportunity. And then meantime, the kids can go and explore extracurricular activities. So when kids enjoy a lot of things inside the school, right, they definitely go back and tell to their family that I enjoyed this day, I really like this school, I join the school. So these are the some things kids can go back and tell. But how do they actually do it? When they enjoy a lot of things inside your school through extracurricular activities. And finally, you can encourage the kids to sit along with other pre-primary classes students where they get to learn from each other, right? They can see their like the seniors can see and learn from them, like how this particular person is writing. Can I sit together? They get an opportunity to get new friends as well. This will also make the kids to like the school more, and this will help the parents to take a decision. Here both parents and kids will feel or more like feel more attracted towards a school, thereby increasing your enrollment in your school. I'll show you a few examples. See, your kids are trying like the extracurricular activity available in the school, whereas in right hand side, you can see the kids are sitting in the classroom. They're trying to understand how the teacher is, what is she teaching, how I should behave. So all these things they are trying to learn before joining the school itself, which is a quite a good exposure for both parents and the child. The next strategy is incentives and benefits, right? It's very simple. It's talk about what are the offers or discount you will be giving to the families who are enrolling the children to the kindergarten. And do we have referral program in place for incentive and benefits? So this is majorly who's the target here. The parents of children aged 3 to 5. Once they join their kids in the school, in your school, those people or the existing parents who go and do word of mouth, talk about your school and make sure other parents also get enrolled. Or you can also have children of age 3 and 5. I'll tell you how you can engage children of 3 and 5 when it is the right time during admission time only. So you will open it as a small slot and then you close it immediately. So how can you do? You can give discounts in tuition fees for the parents. So here I'll try to highlight one thing. It's not very easy for the school to give discount on tuition fee for all the parents, right? It will take a lot of impact on the fund as well. So I would say understand like the first slide which we talked about, like type of parents, right? What do parents look for in a school? So offer these discounts in tuition fees to those parents who really expect reduction in school fees because of their family's financial situation. So you can offer only to them. And then discounts on school supply, you can offer this to parents who are referring other parents to join. Say, for example, I have a child who is already enrolled in a school. I'm going to talk to my neighbor and make sure he or she enrolls the child in your school. I have referred her, right? So what do I get? I get small stationery discounts, right? Where I can give the coupon and get stationery things for my child. So this is not really need to be very big in budget. A small thing just to make sure that like you're appreciating their effort on bringing a new parent to your school. And finally, you can also do this way. You can invite children to your campus like school readiness mela or school tours. Similar to that, you can invite children from the community of 3 to 5 age. You can have a simple scholarship test, right? Like many academy do that. So you can have a scholarship test where you're giving opportunity to children to perform very well. Based on the performance, you can give 2% discount, 5% discount, 10% discount, whatever is feasible for your school. So this will also encourage the parents to make sure they participate in this scholarship test. Once the child score really good mark and when they see that they're getting good discount, there is a lot of chances that they will enroll in your school only because they're getting a lot of benefit. So here are a few examples. Like as already mentioned, right? You can give discount in a stationery, which will not take a lot of budget. Like see what is feasible for your school, or you can all introduce an incentive program where you can save. Ask the parents like they can save fees. I mean fees of their child as well. Final strategies, collaboration and partnership. This is one of the important and I would say very effective strategy to have in place because here you're establishing educational ecosystem. How? You're partnering with the local preschool, day care, play school, whatever you have in your community, and here you're collaborating with them, right? So the target, who's your target here? The preschool, daycare, play school, whatever you have in your community. And when is the right time? You have to establish this collaboration like at least 3 months before admission so that you have enough time to get benefit out of this partnership. So how do you do it? I'll also show an example, like starting from flyers, poster, teacher visit, participate in preschool day, graduation day, etc. So I'll show you an example. Basically, you're trying to establish a collaboration with the daycare. Let's take an example. First thing is that you're going to make a flyer or poster telling what is the like very advanced features in your school you're having, or highlight the features you think your parents really like about it, right? And then you'll also go to that particular preschool or daycare where your partner and ask them to display this particular poster in their campus, and then can distribute to the flyers to their parents as well. And then you can ask your teachers like either Saturdays or whenever you think a suitable day, you can ask your teachers to go and visit these daycares at least for half an hour, 20 minutes, right? To understand what's going around. They have to do it consistently, at least a month, right? And then ask them to connect with the kids. Like connecting with the kid is a very important thing because say for example, if my child is studying in a play school and there is one teacher from particular school is coming and visiting and behaving very friendly with my child, means my child will develop that connection with the teacher, and there is a lot of chance that I would prefer my child to be enrolled in that school where this particular teacher is there. So that's why we are doing this activity. And also ask it to do teachers to do some activity so that the children are staying connected, building the rapport. And whenever they get a chance, ask your teachers to build the rapport with the parents as well. So for example, like the children may be like very young, they may not join a school this academic year by doing this activity, but there is a lot of chance that these children will join your school whenever they hit the right age. So make sure that you consistently do that. You build that collaboration, you have this partnership where you're going and visiting, building rapport with children and the parents, making sure that they know you really well. So this will help the parents to take good decision about enrolling their kids in your school. So you also might be wondering, like, see, we talked a lot about parents, right? Like you might be wondering, like, you have already said a lot of features to highlight how my school is doing well. So I would say the right way to is that how you're going to do that highlight wala thing is that you have to really understand what you're doing good, what your parents actually like about your school. That's the feature you have to highlight, not something you think is good, right? You should know your parents' mindset. From a parent view of point, these are the things they like or these are things they want in the school. So that you have to know really well. So one of the day way which you can know is that we Vartan have designed this parent survey tool where it's specifically focusing on the existing parents to understand what is your parents' opinion about your school. Once you know your existing parent really well, you can use that to get connect with the new parents. So this survey is basically identifying what is this opinion your parents is um, having about your school, what are the features they really like or what are the features they want in your school. I'll talk about that briefly in a while, but I thought you should the point here is that you should know what to highlight about your school from a parent's perspective, not from a school leader or principal perspective. So these are the some of the strategy. So here I'll show a few examples. Here the school is participating in a play school wala graduation, preschool graduation, and there is you can see there are teachers are sitting in the daycare trying to get connect with the children. So before moving on to the next, I would like to quickly launch a poll to understand. So a lot of strategy we talked about, right? Starting from school readiness campaign. I want to understand from your point of view, from all these strategy, what strategy you think would be more suitable for your school? It can be multiple strategy as well, of course. So what strategy, whether it is school readiness campaign or workshop, parent awareness campaign, school tours, incentive benefits, or collaboration? What strategy you think would be best suitable for your school? You can select multiple options. See, these strategies are all interconnected. Why? Because our stakeholders are either children or parents or community. So depending upon your target audience, you can like make a twist in these strategy and implement in your class, implement in your school. So I'm going to quickly show you the result. As you can see, most of you voted for school readiness campaign and parent awareness campaign. So these two are the most voted, and then followed by workshop, incentive benefits, school tours. So parents awareness campaign and school readiness campaign, you can obviously combine together and have it in your school as well. So thank you for like putting your thoughts in it. Let me quickly go back. So now, since we talked about lot about strategy, the next thing is to important thing is to understand how do I market it very effectively? What steps I should follow to make sure my marketing plan is effective? Because as I said earlier, you might do wonderful things, million things in your school, but if your marketing campaign is not effective, means that may not reach your community. Your community will not see any value, so they will not come back and enroll their child in your school. So it's important to have an effective marketing campaign plan. So I'm going to talk about the plan in a simple 5 steps, and I'll show an example as well. An effective marketing plan starts with the step one. First, identify a target audience. Who are your audience, right? What does the parent profile look like? We talked about a lot of parent persona. Like my parents are unable to pay large amount of fees, or my parents who looks for infrastructure facility. My parents are the one who look for curriculum. So know your audience. You have to know your audience really well. Second one is set clear goals. what would be a goal look like? I want to increase my enrollment percentage for this particular parent type by this particular percentage, right? Say for example, I want to increase my my enrollment by 15% or 20%. So have a very clear goal what you want to achieve from this marketing campaign. Third thing is choose the right marketing strategy. So once you know your audience, once you know what you want to achieve, you will obviously choose the right marketing strategy. Whatever 6 strategy we discussed, right? You can either combine them or you can choose any one. And then implement and track your campaign. It's always important to track your campaigns, right? And then analyze and optimize. So it's not just implementation which is important, but going back and see how much effectively your campaign is bringing kids to your school and your admission is getting increased or not, so that you can rework on your marketing strategy. I'll quickly show you a sample plan. This will be anyway sharing with you, all of you. So I'm just showing, I'll show for one so that you can go back and see the entire plan when you have time. Say, for example, I hope this is quite visible for everyone. If you want, I can increase the size for everyone to check this. Say, for example, my target parent is the parents who enroll their kids in Anganwadis, right? I can see Anganwadi is having a lot of kids and my target are those parents. So what is my clear goal here? My goal is to increase the admission for this particular target audience by 20%. That is, I have to get at least 15 students from Anganwadi to be enrolled in my school. So what strategy I'm going to use? I'm going to use 2 strategies. One is school readiness campaign. EC marketing campaign means parents marketing awareness campaign. So you know how you have to do, right? So for example, school readiness campaign, what are you going to do? Put the steps, like you're going to organize a mela, how you're going to invite the kids, what activities you will be having. And once the child perform the activity, you will be telling the parents, and then you will also highlight how this particular school is taking ways. Second one is parent awareness campaign, because these are the parents who have enrolled the kids in Anganwadi, who has to know more about early education importance. So you're going to organize a lot of sessions and you're going to highlight why early education is important for this set of parents, because in Anganwadi, we really know how much a child gets exposure about developing other skills or important foundational skills, right? There's a lot of importance given to health and nutrition, which is a good thing. But coming to cognitive development, language development, I think they need a lot of activities to be in doing. So here these parents need to get that awareness. So you are doing parent awareness campaign. And how do you check it? You have certain methods, like whether all the targeted parents came to your event, what is their interest is, how are you following up with them. If you want, you can conduct part 2 mela as well, to see or to tell the parents that, see, we have conducted this particular event on February 1st week, and after 1 month of break, this is the child's improvement. See how your child is able to improve. So giving the real data to them. You can have like, what is the time period you want going to have, who is the person responsible, what is the status, comments. So this is a simple plan which is categorized according to the target audience and your goals. Coming back to the session. So this plan will share it with you. So this is how you will effectively create your marketing campaign plan. So while creating the plan or choosing the right of strategy, or basically to increase enrollment in your school, there are a lot of things you have to keep in mind. Some of the important things are starting at the right time. Marketing, you should start at the right time. It should not be too late or it should not be too early. It should be the right time so the parent remember you and come back to your school and join their kids. So start at the right time. And then have simple admission process. Nobody likes something very complicated, right? They like things which are very fancy, but nobody likes complicated admission process. So have simple admission process. Third thing, keep your social media platform updated. This is one of the way you market and you also build your brand. So keep your social media platform updated, because a lot of parents are quite active in a lot of social media platforms. Fourth one, generally, if you see the marketing strategy of the school, they will include their academic performance of the students. 100% pass percentage in 10, or particular student has scored this much, these many people have cleared NEET, right? This is very similar to almost every school. But try to include your parent testimony as well, because parents are the adults who took the choice of joining the kids in your school. So parents testimonies will serve as a best what do you call, word of mouth. Not just word of mouth, it will give other parents a confidence. I know this particular parent, she took this decision and she's saying good about this school. Let me go and explore the school. So include your parents testimonial in your marketing campaign. And finally, regular follow-up. If you get any lead, right, even a parent shows slightest interest or good amount of interest, be it whatever parent, you have to make sure you are regularly following up with them to show that you have greater interest in their child's academic performance as well, and making sure they're taking a decision in enrolling their kids in your school. So these are the few things which you have to keep in mind. Now, finally, we are trying to do a case study about Kidsy marketing strategy. I'm pretty sure like most of you are aware about Kidsy in your local, right? So in my place, this Kidsy is, I would not in my place, like quietly in India, Kidsy is quite famous. So when we looked at Kidsy, like this is particular preschool chain which has like ranked as number one in India's most attractive brands, right? That's a quite a heavy status to for someone to hold with respect to education and preschools. So they have their presence in 550 plus cities. They have like 4 lakhs children served. This is a very big, huge chain, and they have established themselves as a successful brand. So if you go back and look what marketing strategy they have used and how they become very successful. So these are the few things which really worked very well for them. One is visual branding. So if you go and see Kidsy, I'll show you in a while. So if you look at the very first thing which really worked well is their visual branding. If you look at the Kidsika logo, it's very attractive. The colors they have chosen and the thing, the motto they have chosen, it's very, very attractive, right? And then quality of education. This is how they market themselves. They give the best quality of all the preschool across the nation. And they have this interactive alumni. What does this basically means that they have this integration of parent, teacher, and student. So they practice this particular activity where all these three stakeholders collaborate to make sure the children having the best learning outcome or environment, plus the parent serving as a word of mouth, and then teacher having a best exposure. So how do they do it? That they organize a lot of session for parents, like frequently in a month, where parents all get together and they share parenting tips to each other to say this is how things worked out well for my child. This is how he or she was doing before I took this particular strategy, and now she's doing much better. So why are we thinking this has been very effective? That parent get that ownership, right? My school is making sure that I'm also getting extra benefit apart from my student, apart from my child. So they get that ownership towards, and they will be talking about this particular preschool to other parents, making sure other parents also get this good atmosphere. And then the curriculum. So they market themselves as that they have world-class curriculum, like somebody mentioned earlier, and they have designed the entire curriculum based on activity-based learning. So it's not something like I'm like teaching in traditional way, but everything we teach here is activity-based learning, giving importance to all developmental skill. And finally, they really give importance to teacher quality. They recruit the teacher in such a way that they have certain qualities and they use that to market their brand. So these are the things which work really well for them. So if you get an opportunity, just go and look at their if you have a campus nearby, go and look at them, or you go to the website and see how they are trying to do it best. You may have all these things here and there, but you should have a right strategy to showcase to your community that yes, you have taken multiple steps to making sure to give the best world class environment for their child. Now, a quick question to participants here. We have discussed a lot of things, but I also want to understand from your experience, from your exposure, which school or institution or institutions as well do you think has a best marketing strategy or practices? From your experience, you must have seen some school, this school is doing best in marketing. Do you have anything like that in your mind, or have you experienced something like that earlier? So somebody asked, Manila ma'am, you asked question on what is the right time for doing admission campaign, right? So for every strategy I've mentioned, keeping in consideration the admission happens at on in the month of April, right? So everywhere I mentioned 1 month before, 2 months before. So you should see when is admission generally opens in your school and take a call. Also try to understand the parent, I mean, from your market, right? Competitors, when they open their admission. Say for example, you have like 4 competitors who open their admission in February itself, but you open in April. This means there is a lot of chance parents will choose the first school, February, they get enrolled there. Once they've enrolled, they can't come back and enroll in your school. So understand that situation as well. From your competitors, know when they're opening, and from your point of view, plus the strategy you're choosing. So that's how you choose the right time for doing admission. And somebody asked that will we get a recording of this video? Of course, it will be uploaded in Vartana YouTube channel, sir. You can go back and see. Yes, Orchids International School, they do best marketing strategy, of course. Thank you for saying that, Nikita ma'am. Do anyone else have any other institution or school or play school in mind which comes to your mind? This one do excellent marketing, something like that. If you have, you can share it in the chat box. So why I want you to reflect is that, see, as a school leader, when you look up to some school or institution for best marketing, it's a best way to reflect as well. Why do I think this particular institution is doing good in marketing is a right question to ask yourself. So what I have to do, or which area I have to focus, or which area I need to give attention. So this will be a self-learning for you to come up with your effective marketing strategy. That's why I've asked you these questions. Sure. Vidya ma'am, we will be sharing the Excel sheet as well. New Horizon School. So thank you, Deepa ma'am. I'm not aware of that, but yes, if you think that's one of the school which plays a good marketing strategy, I think it's the right time for us to go back and learn from them as well. Let's summarize. We have seen a lot of things. Let's summarize our entire session. So selecting right strategy is you are halfway to the success, right? So how you select the right strategy, you have to understand who's your audience and what is the goal you want to achieve. Then you have to choose the strategy. And second one, it's important to collaborate with preschool and daycares. This is not only going to have beneficial short term, but this will definitely have a long term benefit because you are establishing that educational ecosystem in your community. And finally, doing all these things, right, you will make sure that you are engaging with your community, earning their trust, so thereby you are strengthening the brand as well as you are able to increase your admission. So we talked about, like, I'll just give a gist about it. We talked about like what is the parents expectation, why do we think there is a low enrollment, how can you overcome these things using the 6 strategy. Then we also looked at what is the effective marketing plan, and then we did a small reflection activity on what is the best marketing brand I know, right? So moving ahead, we have this Vartana Partners Academic Solution where lead is the one which has like text-based learning solution, which has that world-class curriculum, helping you to achieve curriculum teaching methods, and they also have books, and they also have curriculum to help the students excel in English and coding skills. The second partner is that KAN, which is known as Knowledge Vehicle. It is a multimedia computer with data projector, which helps you to establish a vibrant interactive classroom. Third one, I've talked about parent survey earlier. If you really want to understand your existing parent opinion, we are having this Vartana tool called Parent Survey Tool, which will be piloting school, which you already piloted in multiple school, but we are opening it again. If you think that will help you to have some kind of insights, please feel free to like put it in the feedback form. Contact number, you can reach out to this contact number expressing what is your particular need is, because we cater to multiple things like primary school, like high school, and like financial side, academic side, and we have partner solutions as well. So we offer multiple things. If we are able to understand your need better through the reaching out to a customer care, It will help us to cater you better. I hope everyone have able to fill the feedback form. If you are not able to access the feedback form for some reason, quickly post this webinar. We will sending it to your email. Kindly fill your feedback form to receive the participation certificate and help us to design more interesting session in the coming days. Thank you all for participating and engaging in this session. I heard really a lot of learnings from you as well. Thank you all. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Thank you.